Hey everyone, my name is Arunabh. I go to Monte Vista High School and I'm an incoming senior, and here's my project. So I chose the hexapod because I first of all liked robotics. I thought it would be a really cool project to have, and I also liked how you could easily modify on top of it. Like the base project is just a simple thing with like just a flat plane that you can just add a bunch of stuff on top of it, and UI could add a bunch of things. And so my main project, the way, what it is basically is it's a six-legged robot, as implied by its name, that is controlled by a wireless controller. It also contains some LEDs here and also a camera at the front. So I'm going to quickly demo how it works. So you have this controller. There are a bunch of different switches you have, and depending on which switches you have turned on, they can move the robot. So actually don't have it on here. We should do that. There it is. So now that it's turned on, I can now move it. So the first, most basic mode is just moving it laterally. So I can move it front, back, left, right. And then if I turn on another mode, I can have it turn while moving front and backwards. And then there's also some other modes here that were demonstrated in some of the earlier ones. We can have it move in place and even turn in place. And then one of the modes I added was actually being able to move this camera here, because I thought that just having one camera angle would be a bit lame, and so I decided to make it variable, so you can have it really point upwards, or just maybe make it pointing a bit more downwards as well. And so this project actually uses 3 Arduinos to run. It has one Arduino Uno here, which for the controller of the robot, which has a shield on top of it, which has a bunch of all of these buttons and potentiometers and things that can make it work. It also has another Arduino. It's sort of an Arduino, but it does run on Arduino software. So I'd consider it an Arduino, and it runs all of the servos and also this additional one over here. And then there's thirdly this extra Arduino that I added. Originally, when I had this Arduino going, it was originally just meant to be powered by this the controller board, but then I realized that the power wasn't actually enough for it, and so I decided to give it its own independent power source, a 9-volt battery kind of at the front of the robot. So yeah, this Arduino here, it powers both the LEDs and the camera itself. So I couldn't exactly show you the camera earlier because it frankly takes a while to take pictures and is kind of inconsistent. But here's a picture I took maybe 20 minutes ago during an earlier presentation. Yours, I believe? So yeah, some of the biggest challenges I had working with this robot were probably getting the actual this servo to work here. It may look simple, but I had to go into many different files of the robot's code into just figuring out how to get it to work with the controller. And as Ben said, I had to do a lot of stuff that were not really developed or intended by the developers in order to make this work. So it took me a couple of days of just reading through the C++ files to actually figure out what I was doing. And after those 2 days, I was able to write the code. It took me a bit of, I did have to do troubleshooting a bit, but I eventually got it to work. So now I learned a lot of things using it here. The biggest one for me being personally CAD. So as you can see, I 3D printed a few of these things. This main mount for the hexapod where the battery sits in, and also this camera mount. And so those things were something I had CAD'd in Onshape, and then I later had sent to 3D printers. And I also learned a good deal of C++, which is very similar to Java, as I learned earlier. So if I had infinite time and money after this project, I would definitely try to make the LEDs work more properly with the actual robot itself, because currently it's just run by some code that makes it go in a rainbow by this Arduino. But I think I want to do something more special with it, make it correspond to the state of the robot, so that it actually tells the user information about what the robot is doing. And so, any questions?